Hello everyone, and thanks for joining A by Ameris Continuing Education. This is my lovely model Camille. I'm going to be waxing her brows. First, let's start with sanitation. As you can see, I have my wax pot here along with some barbicide. This is for my waxing utensils, scissors, tweezers. I have Prehan, which is going to clean the area. I have wax off, which is going to clean off the wax. And then I have post-epilation. This is going to calm down the skin. I have my barbicide jar here, a nice small one for my small tools. Waxing sticks, muslin strips, pre-cut, and cotton pads. Let's get started. So first I'm going to go ahead and clean that area. For our model Camille, I had to definitely check ingredients on everything I'm using. She is allergic to, was it coconut?
Coconut oil.
Yes.
Sulfate.
So always ask your client if they have any allergies. A lot of times they will tell you themselves, but there are situations where they might not know there's an ingredients in something that you're using that they may have an allergic reaction to. Alright, so her eyebrows are clean. Now I'm going to map her out. Everybody's eyebrows are already shaped the way they should be for the shape of that person's face. So all you really need to do, you don't never have to create a brow. All you should do is clean up the brow. Me marking her face is going to help me make sure her brows look exactly alike. We say that they're not twins, they're sisters, but there is definitely a way to get them as close as possible. And marking actually helps. So I just have a makeup pencil that I'm using. And I'm starting with going from the bridge of her nose up. So where a person would have a nose ring, straight up is where their brow should start. The arch is naturally the place where the brow rises and stops, and then the hairs start to grow downward. So as you can see, her brows start to grow upward, stop, and then grow down. So that is her arch. I'm going to put a little line there. Her end should be right at this corner, all the way up at an angle. And she ends right where she should. I'm going to put a mark there. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Now while I'm doing that, I can already see that her brows are different. I can see the actual difference in her brows. On this side, it's just a tad bit higher. So the good thing about marking is I can see that before I start waxing. So I'm going to kind of connect these lines. And I'm using a mascara wand to make sure I'm combing the hairs down or upward in the direction of hair growth. And I'm going to mark her brows exactly how I'm going to wax them. Now again, on this side, I could already see that there is a spot. This entire brow is a little bit higher. But I can stand in front of her and go ahead and make sure I can make them as close as humanly possible. Alright, so as you can see with that being done, there's only a small amount that needs to be waxed. And this is true for any type of brow when you're shaping them the way they should be versus creating a shape. So I am going to wax right here and right here. And on the other side, the same thing. Right here, and then on top on both sides, and of course in the middle. Now this also gives you an insurance policy, but you can always let your client take a look at this. So if you can look, Camille, straight ahead, you can see how I mapped everything out. So this shows her exactly what I'm doing, and so it's an insurance policy for both of us. She can feel comfortable with what's being done, and I feel comfortable knowing that once we're complete, she's already pretty much seen what I'm gonna do. All right, so let's start waxing. Starting with the middle. And this is satin smooth wax that I'm using. I love this wax because it goes on nice and smooth, comes off the same. I have clients that'll look at the strip afterwards to see if there's any hair that's been taken off because there's not as much pain, even though Camille just jumped out of her seat there.
It really didn't hurt my throat.
Mostly in comparison to the honey or beeswax that's used, it's a lot stickier. And sometimes places will heat it up hotter to try to make it smooth, but that just ends up hurting people. Alright, so this part should be self-explanatory from any type of waxing that you did in cosmetology or esthetician school. Applying the wax in the direction of hair growth. And you see I'm just following that line. And if you do it correctly, you can follow that line tightly. You don't have to go any outside of it. You can go right on that line. Take your Muslim strip and go over it. Hold it while smoothing it out. Tear in the opposite direction. When was the last time you had your brows done? Oh wow! Well, you can't tell. It's not like it's like craziness.
I think that's why I don't really get
Yeah.
So I did have one other did it, and she tweezed me. It was terrible, and they were uneven, and I dealt with that pain.
Oh yeah.
Still have to fill it in with the products.
So again, I'm continuing to check this one because this is that high brow, which most people have. You know, brows are not the same when you start out. There will be one that's thicker. There will be one that extends long on the end. They don't come just alike, but we can definitely get them that way. Alright, moving to the last brow, same thing. Following that line as tight as possible. And you can't see this, but I'm making sure to keep my area nice and clean as well. I'm stacking my sticks right on top of each other, stacking the muslin right on top of that so it gives something for that extra wax to stick to. And that just helps when you have waxing clients back to back. closer you stick to that line, the less tweezing you will have to do. And I already see a couple of hairs that didn't want to come up, but we want to be able to do the least amount of tweezing as possible. Just because it's not comfortable, it's not the funnest time. Alright, so right now, while the lines are still there, I can go ahead and start to tweeze now, or I can wait. I like to go ahead and tweeze now. There still might be some areas that I have to tweeze after, but in proper tweezing technique, pull it in the direction of the hair growth. So any of these hairs that are outside of that line that didn't come up with the wax, I will tweeze them now, holding the skin tight and tweezing. That side is good. Alright, last but not least, I'm going to trim them. So trimming, you need to comb in the direction of the hair growth. Her hair grows upward at the beginning and then downward at the end. So at the end, I'm going to comb them down and trim. And these scissors are super sharp. I love them. They're by Tweezerman. What's good about purchasing all Tweezerman products is you can always send them back to Tweezerman and they will sharpen them for you. So that goes for their scissors or their tweezers. And that's consumer products, or if you're purchase it from their corporate website for business. Alright, so now I'm going to wipe all of that off with our wax off. Always stand in front of your client so that you can see the differences in the brow. This one still has a little bit more height. So I'm going to hold the skin tight and take out a few extra hairs on top. Take out this random that's on the side. Alright, so once that is done, we want to kind of calm down the skin. There's a light bit of redness, which is normal. So I'm going to just soothe that for her. Alright, so a little something extra that I do is I like to fill in the customer as well. So after showing them the finished product, I will fill them in, and I'll actually put a little bit of concealer around. So I am taking an angled brush that just has a little bit of brown powder on it, and I'm just giving her just a little bit of extra color to the brow. And then I'm going to take some foundation and actually update her foundation without taking off from actually doing the wax. This is just something a little extra that I do because a lot of times you'll have people who will come in and get waxed and they're on a lunch break or they have other places to go. So instead of sending people on their way with red faces, I like to take away the redness with a concealer in their color. All right, so this is the finished product. Remember to always map your clients. When brows come in, there could be errors from other brow artists. Mapping them will give you a chance to correct any issues. Also, remember proper sanitation and ask questions about allergies.